Hey guys, and welcome to episode 23 of Surganen's Feed the Beast Season 1 Let's Play. I'm standing here on top of my bee house. You can see they're really going crazy. And I finally got my fourth walnut sapling. And it took a long time. You can see how many leaves I've been cutting off. Even with this many bees, it still takes a while. And let me show you why I needed four. And why we've been doing all this bee stuff and tree stuff and everything else. I went ahead and made a centrifuge. Right, it's made with a sturdy casing we made before. It's basically like a bronze furnace, and then copper on the sides and glass, and that'll get you the centrifuge. Now, what the centrifuge does is it'll do different things for different items, but it does a lot for forestry and bees. What I have here, I took away one of the pulverizers. I figured it was just matching what this one said, so I didn't need two. What I went ahead and did was put an export here with a fuzzy export with a honeycomb in it. Now I have it turned off at the moment, but what this will do is it'll take any combs, including the rocky, that are in the system and put them in the centrifuge. That'll get us different items depending on the comb. And so now we're going to go ahead and tell it here, always active, and it should start putting stuff in here. So you see the honeycomb came in first, and we get honey drops and beeswax. And that should get pulled out and put back into our system. And then it'll start going through the rocky comb, and it'll go through the mundane comb that I'm getting from the magic. And you can see the rocky comb, it's a basic comb. I'm basically just getting honey drops. But that's what I'm after. So why do I need honey drops? Well, I know I have the bee here, but you see where it's, or the tree, and it says unknown genome. Well, let's find out what that means. And in order to do that, I need a treealyzer. Okay, we make it in the carpenter with water, and it's copper, redstone, and diamond. Easy enough. Let's get some copper. Redstone, glass panes, or diamond, glass panes, and redstone. Okay. And remember that we had seed oil in here. I don't think there's any left. Redstone and glass panes. Now we do need to put water in here. And let me go ahead and get a bucket. Okay, yep. Now this is going to take a while. Actually, it takes quite a while to go through. So I'll be back after I get this made and show you what it does. Okay guys, so now I have the treealyzer. And what it does is we supply it saplings and provide honey or honeydew. And it will tell us things about them. So I can provide the saplings, but without the honey it doesn't do anything. That's why we needed the centrifuge. So now we should have some honey here in the system. And we'll go ahead and grab half a stack. The nice thing is I can put it right here in the treealizer, and it's gonna stay. So now, since these are all stacked, they should all be the same. So we can put them all in there. Now we can see more about them. We can see the common walnut. Um, they have low amount of saplings. They mature average speed. They get to an average height. Girth is 2 by 2, right? What that means is that when we plant it, we have to plant it 2 by 2, which is 4. I can't just put down 1 and hit bone meal on it. It won't work. The yield is average. Sappiness, that's if you were to, to use them for, like ethanol. Effects, none. You can see that there's, different things that it has. And we can see what we can get from it and what it can mutate into. Now I know one of the things it can mutate into, and it's something that I want. Walnuts wasn't the end for the seed, or what I'd like to get is I'd like to get chestnuts, which is actually a walnut tree mixed with a hill cherry, the pink ones that we have over there. So what I want to do is I want to get some bone meal. And chances are I don't have any made up here. That's okay. I'll go ahead and tell it to craft quite a bit, and that way I can just grab it as it's going by. And I have been getting cherries, which is kind of cool. Oh, now it's going a little too fast. I'll give it a second, let it slow down. Because I normally sort it by the number of items, I know where things are, but when I'm adding things to the network, like I'm telling it to craft this, it makes it a little difficult to grab it and pull it out. So now we have the bone mill, and we have to plant them like this, 2 by 2 by 2. And we just have to hit a couple of them, and one of them should have it grow. There it goes. So now we have the tree, so we can get more saplings. Now, I do have the grafter installed on my tool here, and I made it so that I can turn the axe on and off, because when you're grafting leaves, you don't want to chop the tree down by accident. I did that a couple times. So now we should be able to get some saplings. And we need a couple of them here. I'm just going to take all the ones off the top. 12. That should get us 3 trees. That's fine. Okay, so we'll leave this one here. This will kind of be the donor tree, right? We'll let it mature, and we can get walnuts off of it. Now, in order to effectively get walnuts, or any of the nuts, what we need is a farm. We need a one of these here. I believe it's a manual farm. Yes. So we need a manual farm. Means we have to do the setup, but it'll just process just like the wood here. It'll just pick the walnuts. The leaves will stay. So I also need one over here, because now I need this walnut to basically crossbreed with these cherry to get me the chestnuts that I want. So let me get everything together so we can set up the farm. I'll go ahead and plant one of the walnut trees over here. I did extend this off to this side. I want to have quite a few trees, so that way, we can be surprised sometimes, but still be able to work for what I'm going towards. Once I get the chestnut, then I'm fine with just going in just about any direction. So I'm gonna get everything together, and I'll be right back. It occurs to me that we already have a max size farm. And we're doing netherwort and wheat at the moment just for the seeds. I mean, I don't need all of this wheat. And I have 8,000 netherwort. So, if the whole reason that we're doing walnuts is to get the seed oil, why do I still need seeds? Why not just convert that farm? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I have the soldering iron here, and I'm going to put a circuit board, but first I want to set this up. So I want it to do a manual farm, because that's what you need for orchards, which is what the common walnuts are considered. So what I need is, in the north, I actually want a crop farm, because I do want to do just a little bit of cotton, and this should do it for me here. Go ahead and put the circuit board in, and there we go. And if you wonder how to make the circuit board, it's in the carpenter with water. You just put gold and then redstone, and that'll make the 4-slot circuit board. There are smaller circuit boards, but I don't normally use them. Just because I want to use all 4 slots and I want to tell all 4 what to do. So now, I open this up. We already have one in here. I can't just pull this out, right? What I need is I need to take the soldering iron and right click it out. And there we go. We have our other one if we ever want to go back. So now we can put our manual farm in here. And we want the crops and then the 3 orchards. And we shouldn't need to keep anything in here. Maybe dirt. I don't know why. Let me just make sure that this gets pulled out here. Okay, that's why. It's because it's putting the seeds back in for the manual farm. And I kind of want to stop that. This is going to be the north side here. Well, not going to be, it is. And I don't want it to do wheat. Stop. Stop, stop. This is not helping. I always have problems with this block right here. And with manual farms, I can make, we make the landscape. So I'm going to put water right there. That'll make sure that this is well saturated. And before we get too far along and just I'm fighting the system here, let's go ahead and get some cotton seeds, and I'll tell the system down here to just keep cotton seeds, not the regular seeds. And so I do that right here. I don't want any of that, just the seeds. So now if I pull these out, now it'll put cotton in there. And so all we have to do is go break the wheat. And there we go, it's going to replant cotton. And it's going to harvest it just like it was before. With the crops, it's not really any different. The only difference with a manual or a managed farm, with the crops anyway, is the setup, the initial setup. Now in this case, the ground was already tilled because I was just converting it, and there was already crops planted, so I didn't have to worry about anything. Now for all of this, when I remove the seeds, or the crops here, it's not going to replant them. And that's because they're no longer crops. These are now an orchard. So let me get this cleaned up. I gotta convert all of this back to grass, so I gotta run around and jump on it a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this up. I do have to change this to dirt, and I'll be back. Hey guys, I figured something out from doing some testing. Even with the trees all the way up to here, it and growing all over the plants, right? It still harvests the ones here when they mature. See, watch. It still harvests them, even though this piece of land right here is designated as crop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to designate this one as crop, because the way that I laid it out is it gets the maximum leaf coverage, and I still have 2 crops, so I can still do cotton, and a lot of it. So now I need to change my farm, right? So I need to take this out. No, 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 no. Oh, that's not good. It's gonna cut them down. Okay, well, it's not going to replant. I'm gonna have to do that. But, what can you do now? So now we want to change this here, and for that we need the soldering iron. And because we were changing this, we now need to basically rewrite the whole thing. So I want, not orchard, I want crop and crop, because that's north and south. And then east and west I want orchard. And now we'll put this back, and it's redone. If I would have only put 1 in there, it would have only had 1 total. So now we'll put that back in there, and it should stop cutting down our trees. Unfortunately, it does seem that that now I lost a big crop of walnuts just because of that. So I'm gonna have to put some water in here. Let me replant these. At least I know exactly where they're gonna go. Come on. It might not do it because of all the leaves above it. I'm gonna get this replanted, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do next once this is rolling. So I ran into another problem after I replanted. This was actually a little closer. It was right here, right? It came over this way a little more. So I had trees that were planted right, right here, and if they grew up real big, like, I mean, look at where some of these leaves are. If they grew up real big and touched these, then what happens is, you can see it cuts down all the leaves. So, and that's all the leaves that are touching whatever it's working on. I mean, look, it'll spread to other trees. So what happens when the leaves touch here? It goes and cuts down all of my leaves, because I want all of these leaves to be here. I want them to touch. I want them to be as much as there can be. So when that goes and cuts them down, then basically I'm left with nothing. All my walnuts are gone because they're on the leaves. And now I'm left with just walnut trees, stumps, standing up. Because it won't cut the wood, because it doesn't come over here and actually touch it. So I moved it over, and it's still getting dangerously close. I mean, look at where these were. So that makes me think that we need to move it a little bit more, and I want to dig into the mountain here to do that. But the other thing is As far as wood, we're doing okay, but it's not going up. It's not going up, it's not going down. We're just kind of steady. And I think what we need to do is maybe think about redoing the cart. Maybe make it a little faster, cutting wise and things like that. And then we can expand, right? Then we can move this over and we can go a couple more rows, um, and really, really make it big and make it worth it. And we just need one cart. I mean, he'd go around and he'd be a lot faster, and that's what we were working on creosote oil for anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up completely. And I'm going to fill in this here, right? Probably down to like here. And I'm going to turn the tracks and I'm going to go this way, right? Whoop. And when I'm not lagging, I'm going to go this way down where this river is. And probably make it pretty long. So let's see. Let me go ahead and clean this up. And let's look into what we need to make the better carts. Hey guys, I went ahead and moved the tree farm here, so that now it's this way. Right? It goes long ways this way. It's actually a lot bigger that way, and I don't have to worry about it over there. So I can actually put another one of the multi-block farms over here pretty easily now. And so I laid out the existing track that I had, and I started here to do the next row, because I actually wouldn't mind, going a little bit farther. And I ran out of track. So let's go ahead, and that's why we were creating creosote oil. So let's go check our creosote production. And let's see, that's quite a bit. I can make a lot of tracks with that. So if we go back here, I wanted to show you guys the squeezer is now using walnuts. So we're getting quite a bit more seed oil because we ran out of seeds anyway. So now we're up to 25 buckets. When I switched this over to walnuts, we were only at 11. So I mean, we're getting quite a bit. So I got everything together, and I was coming back here to put it down, and I was thinking about it. I already have a good place where I don't need this room. I already have a good place that I can use my liquids, and it wouldn't require as much cabling. And so I'm going to wall this off. It's well lit back there, so nothing will spawn. I had half filled it in anyway. And why don't I just put my stuff down here, right? Why do I need another room? I can just go ahead and, put machines that I use down here, have this come down into the machines, and then from there to like a tesseract in case I want it somewhere else. I went ahead and made 3 carpenters. And let me get power over here. Let's go ahead and put these down. And then we need to get power over here. And where did the power stop? I think the last place we have towards that direction for power is right here. Let's see. Yep, that connects. Oh, one other thing I did find. I actually found a portal gun in my AE system. What I think happened is most likely my quarries, because I've been running quite a few. Right now I'm actually running 4 quarries at a time. I think what might have happened is my quarries might have dug up a chest somewhere. And I went ahead and made a whole bunch of redstone energy conduit. I knew I was going to need it for the line coming down this way. So now we need the liquid. And in this case, we're going to be using the creosote. And let's run that. Let's run that under the floor. This back here is not a big deal if pipes are shown and things like that. It's more of, this is, like I said, an access corridor and basically processing machines and things like that, so that's fine. And I can always put a tesseract like right here or something. So let me go ahead and get a lever. And we'll wrench this right here. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to put the lever right here or have to actually go up there. Yeah, see, that's not going to work. Let's see if I can just squeeze it in. Right there. Yep. And turn it on. Okay, sweet. So now we should get creosote in all three of these carpenters. Now we just need the ME network over here. And we are almost done with this build. So I have the ME network. Let's see where I have it the closest. I know I ran it here, so chances are the closest place to get it down there would be right about here. And all hooked up. Last thing we need to tell it is we need to get some half slabs, wood half slabs. And we need to go back here. Now the reason that I went with 3 just for the creosote is because there's a couple things that you can make with creosote. There's actually 4 things, at least, that show up in NEI. So, and if I look up the creosote bottles, it shows me how to make creosote bottles. But if I hit U while hovering over it, it tells me what it's used for. And it takes a second. So I can use it, and I want to use it in a carpenter. So I can use it with beeswax to make wood polish. I have no idea what wood polish is used for, so I'm not going to set up a carpenter for that. If I need it in the future, I can do that. I do want to set one up for wooden ties. I want to set one up for impregnated sticks, and I want to set one up for impregnated casings. I believe you can do these with seed oil too, so we might be able to just look at what we need seed oil for, potentially get rid of it, and maybe use that tank for something else. So that's why I set up these. So I need wood blocks, wood. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to need is just some wood. So let's go ahead and set up what we want it to do. And now that'll make some of those. It should pull them into the network. And tell that to make some impregnated sticks. And we tell this to go ahead and make some impregnated casings. Now, looks like those did get pulled into the network. So let's go upstairs. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and start using this. Make travel a lot easier. And the reason I need to go upstairs is there's one particular machine. And that is this here. So now we should be able to get the impregnated sticks. Those are regular sticks. Impregnated sticks. The wooden ties. And we should have like 2 impregnated casings. Yep, an impregnated casing. And go ahead and grab some wood here. And my system already knows how to make the planks. So I need to tell my system a couple things. One, I need to tell it how to make slabs. And yeah, I did not have that already. So now my system knows how to make slabs. My system also knows how to make more of these blank patterns. Let's make a whole bunch. Okay, so that'll do for right now. So now I know how to make slabs, and if I tell it, actually I need to make a slab. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so now I can tell it 3 slabs equals 1 wooden tie. Okay, and then we can clear this. We can tell it 2 wood equals 2 impregnated sticks. And then 8 wood equals 1 impregnated casing. Now, the reason that I had to set up 3 carpenters is the recipes in the carpenter stay. I put down the portal and I didn't even use it. The recipes in the carpenter stay. So see, there's no supplies in the carpenter, but the recipes stay. So I have to have a separate carpenter for each recipe. No, it's not bad because there's only 3 that use creosote oil. So in this one, we have the ties. So I want to tell it this one is for the casing, sticks, wooden tie. So now I can tell it I can craft wooden ties. This one's the sticks. And then this one is the casing. So now if we look in my system, I should be able to go down here and tell it to craft 10 wooden ties. And if we look, it's making the wood slabs and stuffing them here. It'll take a little while to make them, but it saves me on creosote oil and you know, does it automatically pull it into the network. So now if we go upstairs, I can tell my system one more thing. I can tell it 4 wooden ties equals a wooden rail bed. And I can just put that in here. So now I can request wooden rail beds. So let's do 10 of those. And let's see how many I get. Just right off the bat from how many, you know, of the ties that I had made. Let's see, looks like we're up to 3 so far. So I think that's a good wrapping up point for this episode. We almost have the automation of tracks completely done. Now the nice thing is because of the fact that we were working with seed oil and I set up those other 2 carpenters, we now have some of the things that we need for bees partially automated as well. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and make some more tracks, and then next episode we'll go ahead and set this up, and I'll show you guys how I'm able to make it so that one cart is able to handle all of these different rows, and it'll go down every row. It's actually a little complicated. It takes a little bit of trial and error to get it to work right. So with that, I will see you guys later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everyone counts, and feel free to leave any comments on any of the videos. I do try to read them all, and if I can, respond. And with that, I will see you guys later.